Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
We are fine, I think. At least I'm fine. I'm really happy to be here again. We have a very cool guest today, so we are
Very,
very happy. Yes, to.
very prominent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you all.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again. We've met, but it was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. So we have, since it's election week, we have invited. We decided to check who is the user that has won the most elections ever in Hattrick, and we were not that surprised to see that it was you, Regia, but it was a close call. There is one or two guys that have earned a visit here later on, but you were the top one with 31 won elections.
You know, Italians do it better.
Well, I wouldn't say. I'm not sure. Does that include actually participating in the World Cup, or?
We care more about Hattrick.
Okay. All right. Well, at least this time it wasn't our fault that you didn't make it. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah. So the theme for this stream is two things basically. We had an editorial out today, so I wanted to take the chance to talk a little bit about the stuff that we have in there, and answer any questions and so on. And then I also to talk a little bit more about the end life. It's like a sub community that has a lot of engaged users, and I'm curious to know more about what it takes, to be an NT coach, and like to first to get elected, and what you actually do once you're in there, and how you have to organize, and how it's different, like in a big community versus being in the coach of a very small national team, and what it takes to be successful, what it takes to build how to plan for a World Cup and all that stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that I know very little about, but yeah, it would be interesting to hear, I think. So, and also, yeah, everyone on the stream has a beard, so maybe we'll just have to stick to this this tradition, although it doesn't seem very inclusive to the other sex, I guess, but we'll see what we can do about that. Cool. So yeah, let's start with you. Can you give us a little bit of background? Who are you, and what's your story in Hattrick?
Well, it's a very long one, because I'm playing, I think, around since 20 years ago, something like that, more or less. And as everyone else, I started to be involved because, well, it was a different moment than now, with different video games, smartphone, and so on. So it was all on a personal computer. And I liked the old style, let's say. It was still old in the past. And I like the idea. It was something that required planning, and I love that. I love when I can keep playing that specific game. To give you an example, if you play on FIFA, for example, with PlayStation, Xbox, something like that, each year you start again something new. While I like more the idea to keep playing with what you build, and more than that. In that old age Hattrick, it was a lot about trading, and I've always been a trading lover. So I love the idea to trade on Hattrick on players, and while trading, also trying to maybe understand a little bit more how Hattrick was working, because it was way different than now. Now we have a lot of details about how the match engine works, We know a lot of stuff about really, you can read not just the Hattrick manual, but the unwritten manual, a lot of details. So you can go deep and deep about a lot of stuff. But back then you knew nothing. The way also Hattrick was representing the value about your ratings, things like that, was not so easy to understand, not so detailed. So it was really difficult, and it was very challenging. It was like everyone was trying to understand how it was working, while now we know how it works, and we try to find how to be successful with all this information. So it's very different. But I always say that if you're resilient, if you are able to play in different ways, you can be successful no matter what about the rules, no matter about what it takes. If you are smart enough, if you have time, and if you have the desire to do it, you can do it. But of course, you can do it against a lot of managers from all over the world. That makes it very difficult, but it makes it very exciting. And what I love about Hattrick is that you have a lot of different things you can do in the game. So it's not just you need to win your league, and if you don't win it, you're a bad manager. You can have fun even winning at a low level. You can have fun with achievement. You can have fun with under 21 and at T, both training players, maybe being involved in scouting. And there are so many things you can do in the game that I think it's really for everyone test. So it needs some time if you want to raise the bar, but you don't need really that. And I think that even playing so much time, the secret is that you don't have to play at 100% all the time. There are maybe months, years that you play more quiet. Maybe you build your team. You focus on other stuff in your life, even in your spare time, because of course it's a passion, it's an hobby, but it's not the only one. So sometimes maybe you focus more about Hattrick, sometimes about something else. But in the meantime, you can anyway have some fun. You can, for example, I love achievement as well. So there are so many things you can do, and you can adapt it about what is your time available, and what do you want to, the level you want to reach. So very complex game, even if it's an easy one on another side.
Yeah, the complexity is with the other users somehow. It's not the there's no AI. The other people are what makes it hard in a way, because you have to adapt. So
and more than that, it's a community game. And in Italy, we often say that for a lot of us, Hattrick was a social media, social network before Facebook, before Twitter, before Instagram, before TikTok, and all this stuff for young guys. I'm too old for that, but anyway, we were really using Hattrick as a social network to meet people, to go to meetings, to talk with people from other parts of the world. And it's something that maybe nowadays it seems not so strange because we are used to that. But 20 years ago, it wasn't like that.
No, it is interesting that you bring up this thing of the fact that there was a lot of mystery in Hattrick in the beginning, because users didn't know how the game worked, and in some instances we didn't also know how it worked. But like Björn would always say, I know how the game is supposed to work, but I don't know how it actually works, because that is the managers, the most active managers that understand. But like, can you miss the fact that there was more mystery in the game back then, or like, do you prefer it like it is now when everything has been understood better?
I don't miss, well, of course, you miss something, but I think it's like in your life when you have, for example, a relationship, you miss maybe something that you had 20 years ago, but of course, it's evolving. And if it doesn't evolve, you get tired, you get bored. So you need that evolution. And that's with Hattrick as well. What I think, I still love Hattrick because it's always a different game. There's always something different, but not different in the game because there are great changes. Of course, there are a lot of changes, but it's more about how you interact with Hattrick, your target in the game, your objective, what you want to achieve is really different. And I think that the fact there are different games inside the game is what makes it really special and something you can think, I can play Hattrick maybe after 20 years. Yes, you can, because it's not always the same thing. It's different all the time, and you can adapt your life to it. And that's really important because sometimes in other games, maybe you don't have the time, you get bored, so you just keep it away for years and maybe you don't take it back later. But with Hattrick, at least for my personal opinion, that's what I really found challenging, the fact that you can adapt to the game and you can adapt the way you play, growing, evolving.
Yeah, and you have had like a lot of things. You're quite competitive, right? I mean, like you, you like to find something to really become good at. So like you're always on top of the achievement list, and you're on top of the election list. And what else, like, are you competing with on the in Hattrick?
I even play ladders. There's one of my favorite character ever. He was saying he's a straight edge. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. And I was saying competition is my addiction. So I'm really competitive, and I want people to be competitive as well, because I often say that in the game I want you to kill me, and I'm someone that want to play at the top, like you play football, for example. I'm one that will never give up, and I want you to do the same, because in this way we can stimulate each other. And after the game, of course, we can hug, we can be great friends. But inside the game, it doesn't matter if you're a friend. If I need to beat you, I will moth you, no mercy at all, because that's part of the fun for me. I'm really competitive, and no problem. You can win, you can lose, and it's very much likely that you will lose because you play against so many teams, against so many manager. You are just one. And if you play one out of 1,000, 100,000, of course, you're just one. It's really little probability to win. But the fact there's competitive, that's something that makes it more exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're also doing something outside of Hattrick, which is quite unusual.
Yes,
about that.
As I do in the game, that I try to play in different ways, years after years. I do that in my life as well. That means that I like to try different stuff. I like to reinvent myself. And 6 years ago, I started my own wrestling company. So that means that I organize and promote wrestling events. So we became in a few years one of the, let's say, best company in Europe, at least the best in Italy. And it's very strange because wrestling is not popular, especially in Italy. It's something that a lot of people don't know about and don't like, but I love it. And I see that I even play Hattrick more or less like a wrestling character. In wrestling, you can be different than in your life. You can have, you can go to extreme way with the way you portray your character, the way you interact, of course, inside the rules. But you can be sometime more nice, sometime a little bit more on the competitive side. So it really depends. And I love to build my, I say Regia is not Fabio. It's more a character that is more for to entertain people, and also on meetings and so on. It's like to be together, to have fun, to have fun, and that's the most important thing, to respect each other, but at the end we are there to have fun. So we can be sometimes stupid, we can say things that inside the game we can be more I'm the best one, I will beat you, I will show you I'm the best, things like that. Normally you wouldn't say in your life, because you would go at work saying, oh, I'm the best, I will show everyone, in 1 year I will be the best in the office. It's not like that. But in the game you can do it, and the most important thing, of course, like I was saying, is to have fun together, because it's a game you play with each other. And if you are just alone, that's not good, that's not interesting. But if you do with people that you met, you become friend. My best friend, I met him on Hattrick, and so it's not something unusual for me. And so I put what I learned also doing the wrestling part in Hattrick as well, and it worked quite well, I have to say.
So, but do you go up in the ring yourself?
No, never. That's for professional. I just do the organizing stuff.
Okay.
So I say that they are the one that put on risk their bodies, and I am the one that put on risk my money.
Okay.
So,
Cool. So yeah, we have some questions here. But not
sorry?
so. Yeah, no, I was just checking the questions here if there was anything. But let's see where if we're gonna continue talking about the NT, or yeah, just a second here. So can you tell me a little bit about right now you're the coach of India, right?
Yes.
So what's happening with your campaign right now? Where are
right
you?
now, so far, it's been not the best campaign ever, as we've been eliminated in Asian Cup. I was always complaining about random, because, of course, if I am the best, I can't lose because I'm not the best. If I lose, it's because of bad random. That's quite logical. But anyway, it's not a big team, let's say, so it's not one of the best. We're currently on a Nations Cup campaign, and that's something I really like in the game now, with the changes done in the NT system, because before that, when you were losing, you were going out of the competition quite early, so you had one full season of friendlies. Now with Nations Cup, even the minnows, the team not so good, or the team that maybe had no luck before, have a chance to compete again, and still creating some entertainment for the local users, and maybe trying to get some more trophy. But I've not been lucky, because India U21, managed by a great guy, just won the Nations Cup. And that's a big issue for me, because now that India U21 just won it, everyone wants to see NT winning as well. And if I win it, I just did something that someone else already did it. So that's not so special. And it's really difficult to be a coach.
Yeah. So what's the difference you would say between coaching the senior team and the U20 or 21? Like what's the different skill set, if you will, to
I think there are one very different approach, because if you manage NT, of course the players are far older, and it takes a lot of time to build that team. And sometimes you feel that working with NT, you have less chances to bring your own ideas, because you already have a settled team, and even the team that will be for for the next coach, you can't really do that much for him. While on U21, being so close to the born of the growth, the early growth of the players, you can experiment a little bit more, and you can bring a little bit more your own ideas. And I also think on the tactical side that U21 give you more freedom, while NT players are more, let's say, standard players with a lot of, let's say, a midfielder is more a standard one, while on U21 you can have it also. If you have a midfielder very high on playmaking, maybe miss some defending and passing. If you want to train a B skill, you have to take a risk because you lower the PM skill, and maybe you need to choose between which B skill. On NT, you have almost a more standard way to build players. So I think on the tactical, strategical side is a little bit less interesting. I like more U21, even because I think with scouting, if you become an U21 coach, you can build the future generation. So if you work well, maybe you won't be the future coach, but the following coach will be able to find a far better team, and it takes less time to be competitive. So if one team is not good in maybe 1-2 terms, so 2-3 seasons, it becomes a good team. On NT level, it takes far more time because you need to restart maybe from players age 20, so they become interesting at 28 after 8 seasons, and it's a long time. It takes a lot of a huge amount of work, and it's not so easy because maybe someone else will come with different ideas. And I'm more a U21 guy than an NT guy. But for example, in India, I have a special relationship with the Indian community because I've been their coach, I think 10 years ago, something like that. So I restarted after a lot of time, but we kept connection because we kept writing each other, we kept staying in touch on WhatsApp or other groups. So you keep familiar with this guy still playing Hattrick after so much time. And being a coach, NT coach, U21 coach, it often means that people keep writing you. So they keep asking for advices, you keep tracking their progresses, and sometimes they even became better manager than you. So, but they always start asking maybe, oh, I have this important match to win my league. Just tell me your opinion, and that's something what I was saying. It's like a social network. So you keep playing, especially during COVID. Everyone was at home. Everyone was scared about friends, healthy. So Hattrick was a way even to talk to people while you were not able maybe to go outside of your house. And it was very nice to get in touch with people from other countries, asking how is the situation in your country. It showed that we care about each other, and especially during this turbulent time, it's really important to show the human side. That is something really, really important, and that makes Hattrick so special.
Yeah, that's really nice. What do you think is the like how important when you try to build a successful NT or U20 team, maybe more specifically UT or U21, is like having the best raw material, and how much is like the process of like the politics of getting them trained and getting them trained in the right way, and so on. Like, how does that work, like that kind of organization?
I think that it's a really particular kind of job because there can be different ideas. Someone will like more maybe a team oriented on possession. Someone will take care more about counter attack. But I always say it's not really important how you build the team. What is really important is that you try to involve the community, the local community, and you try to make the local guy, the local managers, better managers. Because if they keep playing better in the game, progresses will come. It doesn't matter who will be the coach, because you never know who will come next. But when you have this connection, when everyone improves, the U21 and the NT will improve as well. And it takes a lot of a huge amount of work, because if the youth academies are not well managed, you will have a worse raw material. And sometimes it's even difficult, because, for example, I always say, just focus on specialty. So start to build the team from that. It doesn't matter if there is maybe one level of main skill, more or less. Start from specialty, and you already have something. Then you get what you get. You know, sometimes there are better players pool, sometimes worse, but anyway, you can always compete. You can always compete. You can always try with strategy, maybe with some luck or anything else. I never liked the idea we're not good enough. No, you always have to try. And even trying, if you're not able to do something good about result, but people will be more involved, because they will follow. They will say, we missed something. What we can do to improve? And that's where you start to build something better. You always have to think about the future and to think about a long term. Thinking about long term, you will also get benefit on short term. I think that really is really important, and it's key to success. You don't have to focus on result. Also, because sometimes you can do everything good, but you lose. It happens. This is not a problem. You have to accept the fact someone else is being better than you. And in that case, when you lose, you have to restudy the matches, think, I could have done something different, maybe why they are so successful, study other, try to be involved in the communities, keep studying. The game is always evolving. There are always new stuff, but never give up, always trying and being positive, enjoying what you are doing. You will get success sooner or later. You just need to be patient and not just to throw everything away because you didn't get result in first time. Keep trying.
It's a pretty good advice for life in general, actually.
Yeah, I don't think Hattrick is so different than life.
No.
Because even in life, you can do good stuff and maybe you don't get what you deserve, but it doesn't matter. If you like, if you have the chance to do what you like and to act in a positive way, I think positive thing will come sooner or later. And even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. You did well. You have to be happy for yourself and try to take the positive as much as you can. In this way, I think you can be a little bit more happy than just thinking, oh, I could have had a better car, I could have had more money. It doesn't matter. There will always be someone with a better car, more money, something more than you. Well, good for him. But if I enjoy what I have, if I enjoy my life, I am happy. Who cares about if other people are so happy? I am happy as well. If everyone is happy, it's a better world.
No, but I think it's about if you like feel that you have agency or not, if you feel that you have control over your life or not. Of course, like if you always victimize yourself, you're not going to be happy. I mean, of course, it's easy to say, right? But as a general principle, if you can, I think it's very good advice to try to see the positive in things. But yeah, it's a nice. We got a question here that I think you would be a very good person to answer, Fabio. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong question. Sorry, it was the right person, I think. Let's see if I have the other one. This was the one I wanted to. Yeah. How much time do you spend on average managing your NT?
It really depends on how you play as an NT U21 manager. If you ask me, the easiest part is the lineup, basically, to send lineup, because when you have some experience, you don't really take too much time to study a match. That's not really demanding. I think it's just half an hour in a week, 1 hour in a week, maybe, but no more than that. It's not really that much time. What is needed more time is to be in touch with owners, is to be in touch with the other managers, is to be in touch with the scout, to check the scouting process. That's what it's really demanding if you want to do it on a good level. Because, of course, if you're a coach, you can just think, oh, I have my own generation, so I just take care about them. I send lineups, I try to win, and who cares what happens next for the future coach? But that's not really what you have to do. If you want to be I think the best U21 NT managers are not the one that win more medals, but are the one that prepare the best generation for the next coach. If the future generation is better than your own one, you did a good job. Because you always have to remember that results can be good or bad, but you just manage one team out of how many, I don't remember, 100, 200 teams. So your chances to win are really small. You don't have to think, I will win something. You have to think, I need to have some fun. And if we all, as a community, as a local community, keep working hard, results will come sooner or later. You need to keep working, to keep studying, to keep improving, and never think you're really the best one, even if maybe you say that, of course. But you have to be prepared for everything. So I would say that the most time I spent is more to stupid chats with friends, maybe the people I should discuss about how to play a match. We spend more time maybe talking about what we did in the weekend, how our girlfriends were crazy, asking us stupid stuff, things like that, more than the game itself. And then when you prepare the game, it's really easy, and it doesn't require too much time, especially because we already know a lot of stuff about Hattrick, and with the experience, you don't need that too much to keep studying. I also think that if you keep watching a match, studying the open, and studying, you start to lose the focus. You just have to do what you know about the game and prepare everything in advance, of course. You don't have to wait the last minute, because that could be an issue. But you have to already know. If you ask me, I already know what I will play, how I will play tomorrow. It doesn't matter the form update. Of course, there will be maybe some minor adjustment, but you already know. And I always say you need to know what we will do with 1-2 weeks in advance, because you need to be prepared. It's more or less like if it's possible in life, you don't have just to take care on the day, but you think about what I'll do tomorrow, what I will do in 1 week, maybe in 1 month, and so on. If you're prepared and if you are experienced enough, everything will be easy, and it will be only a pleasure to keep doing it. Then it's the scouting job that's more demanding, but with some luck, you have people helping you anyway, so it's not just about you.
No. So, like, out of all these times that you have been a coach, like, what has been the most memorable matches, or positions that you had, like the most memorable competitions, or
Well, the most important one for me, I'm Italian, so ideally I should be for Italy, but I always say I really don't care about Italy itself. So my most memorable moment was when I was Norway NT coach and I beat Italy. So I kicked Italy out of the competition, and that moment was special for me, because I showed everyone in Italy that I was better than them. I was better than what they were thinking. And then I won the World Cup on that term. So it was really special, winning the World Cup, knowing I kicked Italy out of the competition. It was like for me going there and say, I'm better than everyone of you, and I'm the best. And I showed it to you directly at your house. So that was really, of course, something in character, as I was talking before, but it was very nice. And people were also supporting me in that run, but I really loved it. I really loved it because there's nothing better. And I always had an example. I don't know how many of you know his career. Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff was a big star for a lot of teams, and Ajax, of course. But he also won a championship with Feyenoord, rival, because Ajax didn't want him anymore. He was old. He went to the rival and he won the championship there. And that's something I think is strange on some side, but I think as an individual, you always want to have respect. And there's nothing better than to gain respect by showing everyone your great performances. And it often happens that when you win something, then people will say to you, okay, you're too old, you're done, you're not anymore on that level. And that is your fuel. You want to show everyone that's not true. And you want to prove everyone you're still on top.
Now you need to beat Norway with India and win the World Cup.
I also later beat Norway on a World Cup World Cup final with Italy this time. So I did it in both ways.
Okay, that's good. Well, as a Swede, it's problematic to hear all this talk about Norway here. So let's just remind everyone that what national team has won the most World Cups in Hattrick, even though it was some time ago. I was reading in the Swedish forum that they're very concerned because we're really dropped our status in the game. So. Maybe there will. Maybe you should take on Swedish national team in Hattrick. That would be good.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Regia, I have a fast question for you because, as you told us, you trained Norway. Also, you was the coach. You are the coach right now of India, and you have trained other countries too. Where is your Hattrick heart? If you have your Hattrick heart in one country, which one would you pick? Like the most important and more symbolic for you as an NT coach?
This is a really difficult question because I have no answer, and I'm not someone, even in real life, I'm not really a supporter of national teams. So I'm not someone that Italy is not playing in the World Cup. I don't really care too much. I'm not really that. And in Hattrick as well, I don't really love one particular team, one particular NT. So every place I've been, I loved something. Every place I've been, there has been something special. Maybe with some people, maybe with something that happened. Sometimes it went good, sometimes not. But probably the country I have a little bit more in my heart is Norway, because but not because of the game, but because I've been 3 times in Norway for Hattrick meeting as well, and they've been so supportive. Being between all people from there, they were trying to everyone speaking English, and that's not really. Of course, they know the language, but you have to speak a different language because there is maybe one person out of 100 that doesn't speak Norwegian. So I really love the way they welcome me, and they will always be a little bit more special than the other people because I met them or in real life, let's say. Italy, maybe it will be too easy. So I know a lot of people from Italy, but when you know too many people, there is also someone that maybe you don't like. So it really depends who's the boss. If the boss is someone that is a friend, of course I support them. If the boss is someone I don't know personally, nothing against him, but I just watch the result, follow the matches, interact with people, but I'm not so involved as a fan.
Yeah, Norway was also my first international Hattrick meeting in 2004, so a long time ago. It's a very nice place to visit.
Well, Regia, you have motivated me to match with your words. You are a very positive person. I'm very impressed with all the things you know about national teams. So I have a question for you. It is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to be a national team coach? What is the best way to start, for example?
Okay. It's really difficult for a lot of people because someone maybe take a look at NT, they think, oh, it's a cool thing to do, I want to be NT coach, but that's not how it works. Maybe in some cases it works, but I will say that my best suggestion will be to, if you want to be NT coach, don't try to be NT coach, but wait that someone asks you to be. It's a little bit difficult to understand, but you love NT, okay. First of all, start to work as a scout. Ask to current NT coach of your country, of some other countries, and start to take a look at how scouting process work. Start to listen, start to be involved on forum discussions. So write on forum your ideas. Of course, maybe you will write something wrong, but you will learn. You need a learning process if you want to be a good coach, not just if you want to be a coach for the sake of it. So maybe it's not the best reply, because maybe you need 1 year, 2 years before you can be ready to be a coach. Now we also have an assistant coach position, so you can learn a little bit faster. But if you want really to do your best, you need to learn. You can't just, it's like if you think on a business company, you can't just think, oh, I want to be the boss. If you don't know how it works, everything around you, you need to know it. You need to understand everything about what's around you. And if you get that, if you understand everything, if you know everyone what they need to do, you can be a good coach, because being a U21 NT coach, it's not like just sending lineups. It's also involving the local community, involving local manager, involving scouts. So you're basically more a leader of a group of people, and you need to give them motivation. And it's a little bit strange because I'm not talking at all about the game itself. I'm not talking about the knowledge about how tactics, strategies, pick mods. It doesn't matter. First of all, you need to build a team. When you build a team, and before that, you need to be part of teams, then you can be a successful coach. If you just run to be a coach, and I think you are missing something, and you will not be ready to do your best. And that will be a pity, in my opinion, because when I try to do something, I only want to do it and 100%, not less than that, and maybe more than 100%. Because I'm competitive, and I don't want to do something just for the sake of it. I want to do something, and I want to be sure I will do at my best, and being one of the best doing that.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for your answer.
Good advice, I think. I'm actually the scout for Uruguay at the moment. At least I was yesterday. I don't know if they have kicked me out yet, but this happens. It happens every season. And Daniel was also very surprised to see that he was the scout for someone. But I think they have already kicked me. I'm sorry to say. So.
I would have a fear to kick you out of any stuff, because random is always there to punish you. You have some check, bad random against this team. Click,
It has been discussed to have a button like that, but I can't comment on whether it exists or not.
I have in my mind something that Regia told some minutes ago about the all the process of becoming an NT coach or under 20 in the past years or under 21 right now. And I have a little story to tell here. Sorry, Antonio.
Hey,
Well,
it's
because
okay.
I think that to be involved with the national teams is the perfect way to learn more about Hattrick, to connect with the community. Is the best way to do it, and to start with the under 21 is a big motivation for a lot of users as a farm or as a part of the scout team. And but there are some users that sometimes misses this process and try to be right now the coach. Well, Antonio did that like 3 years ago, more or less. I was part
4.
of his staff, and we say yes, we have to get the under 20. We have to be there. Antonio Franco, we have to do it. I was his right hand, and in the forum, nobody knew us. We were like nobody, and they were started asking questions to us. What are your plans? How do you want to build your staff? Which are your favorite strategy? And where our answers weren't the best. But this experience was very important for us because we thought, wow, that was tough. The forum really kicked us really hard.
Mm.
We weren't prepared at all, and it was a big motivation for us. And we started learning a lot. And right now, Antonio is part of the staff of the national team. I have been working the last years in Suriname, and because of this experience. So
Mm.
uh, that's for when we talk about of it with Antonio, we just laugh a lot. It was not the best moment, but it was a good experience to start something.
Yeah, that's true, especially in big countries like Spain, Italy, because community are very challenging. They are really thug. On if you do something wrong, they are ready to punish you. But it's really election time, and in these big countries, is quite good to learn because a lot of people is there ready to try to wait for your mistakes, so
Mm.
you learn, and maybe if you show something good, and if you just don't walk away a day later after the election, maybe you start to cooperate with the elected coach. You keep working, writing on the local forum. So there's always a lot of room for improvements, and if you improve, your team will improve as well. So it's not just like NT U21, but it's about the knowledge of the game, about strategies, and it's really a game in the game. But anyway, it's connected to the club one.
Cool. Okay. So you already touched on it a little bit, but we spend a lot of time redesigning the World Cup format, and like it was for a lot of reasons, because it was it was hard to do anything with the old system, because it was an old code base and so on. But of course we also wanted to renew the engagement with the whole World Cup system, because historically it was very important to create the local communities, because it was something to talk about, and to build together. And I think hearing you today, it's still like that in many ways in a lot of communities. But how do you see it? I mean, uh, do you think it was an improvement? And what would you want to improve on further? Maybe the more important question, from the format that we have now.
Well, I think that everyone will say it's been a big improvement. I really love the new format, the new competition, and the fact that there are, first of all, the continental competition that is really something more and something that everyone, I think, will love. It's better for also the little team because they have better chances to qualify to the World Cup. It's a bigger World Cup, of course, but it's a nice format. And the Nations Cup as well. I really love the idea, even if it's, of course, a cup for losers. But it's really nice that everyone still have the opportunity to compete for something. And the way it's being redesigned, I really love it. The only thing I will change would be about the schedule of the matches. Sometime maybe the weather update that is so close to the matches, just like that. But even just the different times of the matches, like Asia playing at around lunchtime for European countries. So this is also nice, and it shows something different than before. So it's been a really great improvements, and it took a lot some time to get something new, but it's been worth to wait that time. Since the first moment, I really loved it, and I know you've been consulting with a lot of people, so it's been a teamwork, and it shows that there are a lot of improvements on that.
Yeah, it was a very slow process, the decision making, because there was a lot of opinions, obviously. But it's good to hear that it came out well. Really is. Great. So I just wanted to, because I promised to talk a little bit about the editorial. Maybe it's much more fun to talk about any stuff. But we're just going to go through it a little bit in case there is some questions. And I mean, this is an editorial in the Hattrick style, so there's not a lot of details anyway. But maybe just to give you a sense of what we're thinking about these different things that's on the menu. But just so you understand, like how our process works is that we meet with the dev team more or less once a season. Then we review what we decided on the last dev meeting and like broken, and any conclusions from that. But basically, we come to that meeting with an idea, like a vision that we have broken down, like these 3 or 4 main things we want to fit into the next dev cycle of 4 or 5 months. So we want to do something with the with the NT. We want to do something for the match engine that we think is important. We want to do something for the supporters and so on. Like to always keep the balance of all the different things that are needed, and with some concrete suggestions. And then during 2 or 3 days, we make sure that everyone in the team has a chance to come with suggestions and improvements to those like big ideas that I bring and Daniel brings usually, and we together as a team decide exactly what we're gonna do, and down to what weeks they're gonna be released, and then we can plan our communication and also around that. And that's when I write the roadmap. So I don't want to tell you what we're working on, because for some reasons there's no need, or there can be like technical risk, so we can't be 100% sure that it's going to be ready within a certain time frame. Then there's no point in mentioning it. Other times we want to mention it because you might need to prepare for something, or it's like a change in the game. And also we want to give you a sense that we're moving forward, and like there is something to look forward to. So it's also, in a case, a PR thing, that you need to know that something is happening. just so you have a sense of our priorities. But I mean, this is not exactly in detail what's going to happen, but it's to give a feeling of what we're working on, and also to have some kind of accountability that you can look back and you can point fingers like there was an editorial 3 years ago and you still haven't done this, which unfortunately also happens. But anyway, so just so you understand why I write these things. But yeah, I don't know. Did you look at it? Do you have any questions, guys, or should I just go through it? We talked about. I'll just go through it step by step. So there is one thing that I mentioned here is that we're gonna work on the kind of the personal backstories of players and staff in the game, and that's there is two aspects to that. One is aging. That's today we have players that go into their 80s and 90s and so on, and that's charming in its way, and it's not a problem. But we want to do something around aging that is also kind of makes more sense, because I think that the game. A game needs to be believable in some sense, like of course Hattrick is not believable in many ways, but division 8 teams that have 40,000 people on the arena and so on, but we're going to introduce some kind of mechanic around aging that becomes a choice as a manager, let's say. We also have something that has to do with family relationships between players, that we're gonna do. This is not something that will have a big impact on the game itself, but it's kind of a storyline thing. Then I'm running out of battery. I'm just gonna say that. So after I talk about the editorial, I'm gonna disconnect and go to another computer. So then you can start. You can talk a little bit by yourself. So. Then we're gonna do some new missions for the mission system, which is gonna target a new category of users. So the way we think about these missions is that they are kind of secondary goals in the game. There is always the main goals in the game, and that's to get promoted and to win the cup and so on. And then there's like periods in the game where you might need extra motivation. The first missions we did were for users that are like really in need of help to get engaged in the game, like they're basically about to leave. So those missions were for that. And the new set of missions will be for users that are competing, they are active, but they're stuck in a division. For example, they have not been able to progress in a long time. So this will be a kind of missions that can offer you a way to jump ahead a little bit. And like always, the missions are unique in the sense that you can only get them once, and you can't really you can't game it in the sense that if you like willingly underperform with your team, it's not going to be beneficial for you to like do that and wait for a mission that then gives you benefits. So like the missions are never, it's never a good strategy to chase a mission. The mission will appear when you need them, basically, and when they can do something. That's the design principle that we have from at least. And then maybe I also should mention a little bit about this kind of newspaper thing that we're going to do for the series. So that's something that's going to replace the events that we have now. That is basically just a log of often totally irrelevant things that has happened, and try to make them more intelligent and like context sensitive and to actually like lift up interesting things that is going on in your series, because we really believe, and we have seen that in the numbers, that the series, like these 8 teams that you're competing with, that's really central to the Hattrick user experience. Like we should do whatever we can to make those more active, and I see that now in Anniversary League, where everyone is active, everyone is talking and chatting with each other, and it's a lot of fun. So I think this is a kind of a cool thing, and I'm quite motivated to work on that. Yeah, so that's a few things from the missions. And for the from the editorial. Yeah, and okay, so question here about, of course, the speciality that I mentioned. Maybe that's the most important one. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say that much about the speciality that we're going to add, but it's going to start appearing in youth players, and at the same time, we're going to explain what it will be about. So the question here is, will you tweak the other specs at the same time? I think a little bit, maybe. There is some things that might need some small tweak, and that's a good time to do it. So not out of the question. We're all here for the spec. Yeah, sorry. We're all here for the specialities. How many new specialities? Just one, I think. Maybe we will get so many good ideas that we end up doing two. But one at least that we have decided. Yeah, sorry. I have one more. I now have 2% on battery. Promise you will push the idea we discussed today on the forum about interactive press conference. Yeah, so that's something that I see like the second iteration maybe of the news. The news magazine will be like events of, like an event in the match, and basically where let's say that someone makes a transfer, and like with today's event, every transfer that is made in the series would generate an event, and you would have like a list of 50 transfers, and it would only be say that this team bought a player. I mean, it doesn't give any information. It's really boring, and if you pick that player, you don't know if he's important or not. So it would be more like most of the transfers, if they are irrelevant, if they are low value or so, they will not be mentioned. But if a player is bought that kind of will break, change the balance in the series, or is like a milestone purchase for that team, then like a news article will be generated. Then of course there will still be ways to see all the transfers that the club has made. So it's not like you're not going to remove that kind of information. The idea for the interactive press conference is, it could be that as a second step, that we send a questionnaire to all managers before the season or during the season, where we ask some questions, and these questions are system generated. So you will get multiple choice answers, and then from those a news article is generated, and then it can generate other discussions in the forum or whatever. So I think that's kind of cool, but it's not going to happen in the first version. Cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna disconnect here, and I leave you guys to it for a few minutes, and then I'll come back. Bye.
Well, Johan is going to return in a few minutes. Um, we have no answers about the roadmap, but we have read it. I don't know, Antonio or Regia, have you found something that was interesting for you, that you have read, that you have thought about it?
Well, what I would love is to see something new about specialty. So that thing that they will add one specialty, maybe they will also adjust something about the other specialties as well. Could be quite interesting because it changed a lot of stuff in the game, and that's important, especially for national teams because you have to do long-term plans. So, but if I would have been you, I would have said something while Johan is not here. I would have say we know about the new specialty. Is someone able to add to our supporters? If someone add us years of supporter, we will tell them about the new specialty. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just add some supporter for us.
Yeah, the new specialty is really interesting. I think that everyone is trying to figure it out, to find out
No
what
sound.
specialty is. I read that Prosina said that was a sterling specialty with a possibility to having a yellow card or a penalty. Yeah, why not? Sterling specialty. That's rare.
I would like to see something special in non-specialty players. Maybe have any special event. I don't know what, but it may be make that they could be a players that more people would like to buy because many competitive teams don't like to buy them.
Yes. One other thing that is interesting on the roadmap, I really like the idea of the of all these challenges that you're going to have for users that are they have no evolution according to the league. It's really nice to keep someone like an extra motivation. It's a very good one too. Yeah, a good addition. And surely the the 30th of August is the 25th year of Hattrick. Well, it's just 4 months.
The birthday.
Yes, we need a celebration for this day.
And I've seen a post on Global Forum that was something that I think maybe in future HT will work about. Maybe adding some women division, let's say in Hattrick, about women team that are now growing on popularity in real life football as well. So maybe they could think about it a little bit, but who knows?
Yes, I in all the time I see on the global forum that sometimes this there is a post about that. In fact, I did it like 2 years ago, and yes, there are different kind of views, but I think that most of the users thinks that that could be something very good to add. Yeah. That's a good idea about yes, at least women staff members. Yeah, makes a lot of sense to something to start. Yeah.
And we also want the avatar with the bird. We want different bird in the avatar. How is that possible? No bird in the avatar. No way, man.
No, well. um,
We want to look like real life in our avatars.
well, I really like the way the avatars are right now, but maybe yeah, it could look better with the birds. Yeah, like Alpa, all the streams comes to scream the same. What kind of birds? a seagull. Well, there are also some changes about my office on this roadmap that are coming. I like the actual schedule. I like the way that you notice the things that have happened in your team or in global Hattrick. And I think that Johan is here.
Yeah, no, I'm back. We
You're
have
back.
like a constant battle in our family for the only charger that works. So I was like midway through the stream, and I noticed that I had the one that is not working, and that I was running out of battery. So now I had to go grab the other one.
We were talking about different things. We have some doubts about the my office changes. Also, Regia
Oh yeah, yeah. Mhm.
told us about that he have read on the forum about something about including the woman on different ways on Hattrick, and we were talking about that.
Yeah, no, the that's a really cool thing that we're doing a lot of tests and iterations on that now. But basically, it's like my office will be more like a dashboard, so that you can select the widgets that you want there, and like the vision is a little bit that this will be a place where you have everything that you need for your team. Like you can have a transfer widget that like in real time updates everything that you have decided is important to you from the market. You could have a training widget. You could have a widgets for your different teams or whatever. And that it's a user setting, so you decide which ones are going to be there. You're going to decide if they're small or big, and basically, like if you're sitting at work, you can have on another screen like your Hattrick dashboard, and like you can basically do anything there, or at least see everything that's going on. I mean that is like the long-term thing, but what we're working on now is testing, because there still needs to be some things in the dashboard that is kind of like one part of it will be totally configurable by the user. Other part will be like my AHT. It still needs to be. We must be able to communicate to the user whether they want it or not. So, like to find the balance between these things, what should be configurable, what should not be, and so on. But it's like this little side project that one of the developers, Marcus, started for fun, and now it's becoming more and more real. So it looks very promising, I think. So that's what is hidden behind the word heavy settings or heavy configurability or whatever I wrote in the editor. How heavy workload should LS expect with the newspaper? Well, we're gonna start small things, so not too much, but and also, I mean, we're not talking about walls of texts like my editorials. We're talking about maybe 2 or 3 sentences. It's like a news item that is, and once that is written, it can be reused thousands of times, obviously. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be that bad, actually. Okay. Do you have any other questions here? So, are you in Anniversary League, Fabio?
Are you sorry?
Are you in the Anniversary League?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I will use it as a farm for U21 teams, so I won't be competitive. But I will just use it to grow up some new player, and maybe hopefully also to reach the achievement for giving players to U20 to national teams.
Okay.
So there's always something to do, even if you don't want to be competitive and trying to win the league.
Cool. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy to win that league for sure.
No, absolutely no.
Great.
You have to try.
Yeah, of course.
When everyone is trying to win that new league, you have to focus on something else, where maybe someone else is not taking a look.
Yeah.
So you have to watch the steps of other users.
You don't have to follow the trend. You need to,
but
to
to
establish
see,
new trends.
To see what they are doing, so you have to do something different, to compare to.
Yeah,
to
but
see how
I'm a bad club manager, so that's not really something for me. I don't have the time to focus on everything, so at least personally, I don't follow too much my clubs. They just play without taking too much care.
Okay.
And that's funny anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take a few questions here. Let's see. Will the new specialty be rare, like resilient and motivator, or a regular specialty chance like the other ones? Not really decided, but I think it will not be super rare. No, I think we will try to make it more relevant, or like more common maybe than those.
And about this new specialty, I have a question. I don't know. This is part of the magic of Hattrick. There are some percentage of chances to have a specialty, and I think that quick, header, powerful have the same chances. But this new specialty is going to take a percentage of the other specialties, or to the players that have no specialty. I don't know if the question
Yeah, I
is.
understand. No, I mean obviously they all are connected. Well, most of them are connected, at least the ones that like produce goals. So if this new one works in the same way, it has to be balanced against the other ones. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to look at the balance of all of them. But I don't want to say more than that, I guess. Here is one thing that we decided this week, that it will be possible to join the Anniversary League until the end of April. So at the end of this month, we will close it for new users. Until then, you can join it when someone drops out. And until now, it has been working really well. As soon as someone leaves, someone new pops in. So I think we really found the right size for it. The last sentence of the tutorial. So yeah, this release that we will do on the anniversary day. I was I was trying to choose the words so that people would not have like you should not expect like a new World Cup system or something. Like it's not the size of a huge release like that. it is a small like a smaller thing, but it's something that I think a lot of people will enjoy. So it's more. I think it's gonna be a perfect release for an anniversary. I think. Are you going to set up new features for player's character? I'm not sure I understand this question, but are you? If this is to be understood as, are we gonna like add new characteristics to players? I don't think so. Well, let's say like this. We see it as more important to try to find uses for characteristics that are already there and that are not being used now. But even so, I think there might be some new features for players that could be added, and I'm not only talking about specialties there, but yeah, these things are we have to tread carefully. Women's teams. Yeah, some of these questions are maybe not so relevant to the editorial, but I mean, some of you that have been inside the staff, volunteer staff, knows that we have done some work on women's team. So like we have started preparing texts for that. So we have definitely had plans for it, but then for various reasons and during COVID and other projects that came up, it was not worked on for a while. So, but I think it's something that would be fun in the future to do. More staff specialists. One that can control the weather. That is an interesting idea. A weather doctor, like a witch doctor. It could be good. Yeah, why not? I think that actually, I think it's needed. I think more staff is needed because I think it should be harder to choose the optimal configuration of staff, or at least there should be more paths, individual paths to be had. So I'm quite interested in adding some staff members, and actually we are doing some work on the staff page right now. That came up after we wrote the editorial. So maybe that will happen. Here's one for Regia. Is this needed, you think? More than only one system?
I think that, of course, there will always be, I want a little bit more, I want more assistant, I want more scouts, but I think the current system is already okay. And I think that each position should be worth something. So if you have 3 assistants, it's something not really that important. Having just one assistant, it makes him more important relatively. And scouts is already okay because in bigger countries there could be something like head scouts, while in little countries there basically it's even too much. So I think it's already okay on that side. I don't think maybe because as I was saying, I'm more for you have one assistant coach. The other one, even the scouts can anyway check the roster. They can check prospects. So I would say it's okay like this.
Another suggestion that we got recently was that assistant coaches should be able to do the lineups and like to be able to do more things. How do you see that
Well, that's the only thing that I will make assistant coach able to enroll new players.
Okay.
Because that's about the time. But let's say you have the weather update 3 hours before the match, so even not really so close. But anyway, maybe the head coach can't do that in time. You have to set up changes, things like that. And having the assistant coach able to do that, I think it will be an help, because basically the assistant coach can already send lineup. So even just enroll the player. If there wouldn't be the weather update, I don't think it will be needed. But with the weather update upcoming, let's say, for example, with the Nations Cup, is 2 hours before the match. So sometime if you're busy, if you can do it, if you're on a travel, that makes things a little bit more not complicated, because it's not really a big issue. But anyway, it will be, I think, a nice improvement.
Nice. 30 minutes before matches in Switzerland. Yeah. Okay, great. So what about the quiz? Is it ready? It is. So should we do it?
Let's do it. Okay. Yes.
Have you been on the stream? Have you seen the stream before, Fabio? Or
no, absolutely no. I just come on this stream when I get paid to be here. So this time I get the big money and I'm here.
All right, cool. So this is news to you then. It's a quiz that we have that we do what we can so that Papa Mish will not win. And the last two streams we succeeded on that, I think so. Let's see how he does today, because he was here, wasn't he? I think I saw him.
Yes, he's here. He's ready to win again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see if maybe we have a new competitive element in here today.
Well, for those who have never had the chance to participate on the quiz, here is the link. You have to go to menti.com, and here you have the code. In this code, you have to click to this number, put that on the code, and you're going to be in our quiz. Okay, you have to enter your Hattrick username, and then you're going to have the chance to participate. Okay.
And the prize will be a pack of these from warehouse, Hattrick merchandise. So make sure if you win that you're in a reasonable location, so that I can actually send it to you without going to put Hattrick in bankruptcy.
Well, that's the problem of being here in Chile.
Yeah, I will send it wherever you are. Don't worry.
Price is a vacation in Italy for you and your team. Got it. Well, I think that's not the price. Well, I'm going to show you how it goes. You, Regia and Johan, you can participate too if you want. You have the chances to
I'm already there ready.
Okay, perfect. You want the prize?
Of course.
Well, let's go to.
Can you share your screen, Lavelas?
I'm doing this.
Perfect.
Let me see. And here it is. Okay. I'm going to hide the code because it's under right here. And well, right now we have 25 users waiting for the quiz to start. The national team quiz. So we can wait for a little bit, a few seconds. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
25 is a very nice number.
26. I'm sorry, Antonio. It's about geography. It's asking.
Not this. No, it's not this.
Not this time.
Well, Hattrick is always related a little bit with geography, I think.
So I have a question to Regia here about wrestling. Is it fake or is it not?
That's the worst question you can ask. No problem at all. It's not fake, but
No.
of course, it's sport entertainment. So there's a sport side because they get hurt. So it's real on some side, but on some other side, it's predetermined. So you already know what will more or less will happen in the show, and their ability is to do anyway a great show, to do the sporting part of it, and giving all of the audience emotion. It's like if you watch a movie. Is it fake? It's not fake. Of course, they know what they have to do, but if they are a good actor, they will give you emotion. And for wrestling, is the same. They have storylines, so it's more or less like a TV series. And but they get injured. They have physical risk, and they have to work and study a lot about what to do, how to do it, to reduce the risk to get injured and to reduce the impact to their bodies.
Okay, now that makes sense, and in a way, it's it of course obvious, but it's, and fake is not the right word. It's a work of art, right? So
Predetermined, we say.
So, and who's your favorite character in pro wrestling?
It's a wrestler called CM Punk.
Okay.
He's still wrestling, even if is now old, but is my favorite one.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go for it.
The last call. Yes. How can I join the quiz? You have to go to menti.com and enter this code. I'm going to show you again for any of those who are not actually on the quiz. And we already have 45 users. So I think that we are ready to start. Okay. There are a lot of nice characters in here. Fire, the Swedish flag, a football ball, a worm, a train. So, okay, let's do this. First question. For a long time, Sweden was dominant in the national team world, winning 6 of the first 7 World Cups. What was the first not Swedish team to win the cup? Germany, Denmark, Norway, or England? Norway was Norway the first one. Congratulations for those 23 users. Let's go for the second question. Okay. Question 2 of 5. Which is the only Asian country to have won the national team World Cup? Japan, China, India, Thailand, Oman. And this China, of course. Did you have it right, Regia?
So far, yes, both 1.1 second for the first one and 0.9 seconds for the second one.
Wow, fast fingers.
Nice.
You are already providing me the answer before you send the question, so it's easy.
You have to you don't have to say that in public, please.
Okay, no problem. We keep it for ourselves.
It was a secret. Well, the third one. Question 3 of 5. Which South American country was the first to join Hattrick? Brazil, Chile, Uruguay, Colombia, Argentina.
I didn't know this one. I just tried it.
Oh, it was Argentina, not Brazil or Chile.
Yeah. Who's the greatest player of all time?
That was a hard one. Let's go for the next. Hattrick has through the years used secret test leaks. Which one of the following never existed? The Moon, Middle Earth, or Narnia? That was an easy one.
What is this?
Well, what?
25.
Okay.
I didn't see
I didn't remember the Middle Earth. I remember the Moon, of course, but Middle Earth, I wasn't sure about it.
I think there was even more secrets. But we did play. It was only in the office, but we played like the proper league system and Mordor against the Shire and so on. It was quite fun.
That's nice. I think that in one stream we have to talk about it. That will be fun.
It's a long time ago, but we can see if I can find any evidence of it. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for the last question of all. How many teams entered the World Cup through the wildcard playoff? 10, 11, 12, or 13 was the last one. Okay.
Oh!
You did a little mistake there.
That was tricky. It was meant to make me lose. Well, it was wrong anyway, so no problem.
Well, it was hard to be 12.
12 2 times.
Yeah, well, I'm so sorry for those who vote for 12. But yeah, the last one was...
12 is your favorite number.
Yeah. Well, the last one was 13, so it makes no difference.
I'm already preparing to appeal to have an appeal for it, because that was clearly built to make my first and only mistake in the game. Not acceptable.
I'm so sorry.
You're fired.
Well, let's go for to see the winner. Is it going to be Uncle Mish again? Let's see.
Oh,
It's Petit Pilou from France, I think. Well, congratulations. Nice job.
great. So
From France, yes.
yes. So please send me an HTML to HT Johan, and we can sort out the the present. I guess if you don't send me an HTML, I'll try to find you, but it's easier if you send me a message. Cool. Thanks a lot for the quiz. Let's see if there's any final questions to our fantastic guest here. So he gives us value for the money we paid, right?
So before the stream will be over, I have one last suggestion for everyone still here, and it's a very smart one. So if you already listened to the last part of the stream, especially, just send an HTML to Johan saying you were the winner of the quiz and you need to have the prize. Just do it. How can you know who was the guy winning? Maybe it's a different username. Just send it. Just try. Always try. You never know what happens.
Well, I might be too nice to deny them something. So I think you're onto something there. Very, very smart idea. So, well, this is totally unrelated to anything, but I'm just going to answer it anyway. Is it true what the wiki says? There were so many Mexican in the Spanish league that you converted into the Mexican league? Yes, it's true, actually. We had, it was a very interesting thing because there was a group of Scandinavian guys that were working in a Mexican university as teachers or students. I think one of them was a teacher at least. And they were playing Hattrick in Sweden, and then they started playing and starting recruiting their students to Hattrick. But they played it in the Spanish league, but since they were all in Mexico, they asked us, shouldn't this be Mexico? And then we just switched the league to Mexico. So yeah, that was quite funny. But so it pays off to ask stuff, right? Then they got their own league. Cool. Here is a wrestling question for Regia.
Well, and I read the question. I met Bernard Van Damme, so I know who he is. But anyway, my company name is the same of my Hattrick third team, that is Rising Sun Wrestling. And we also have a YouTube channel, so if someone is interested, can take a look at free matches, so without paying anything, and absolutely can check what they like. We had very famous wrestlers as well, so maybe you will find something interesting.
Cool. Okay, thanks a lot. Yes, Swansea, you can message me about the quiz if you want. I think we're about time to wrap up here. We try to keep it to 1.5 hours or so.
But I'm talking too much.
You're a fantastic guest. It's very good to you just push the button and then keep on for 10-15 minutes. But yeah, I think we're learning as we go. So we try to improve something for each stream, But it's not. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we try to improve at least from week to week. We have other stuff to do as well. It's very good to have a guest that is willing to talk. When we don't know what to say, we can just let you continue. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very nice to have you here. Super nice.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah. And I hope to see you in the flesh again. It was we have had the pleasure to meet on staff meetings, so it's it's always good to see you.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks a lot. And I felt I wasn't. I felt a little bit off today. A little tired maybe, but I hope I still enjoyed it a lot. So I hope I haven't put you off, and that I will see you all next week. I think we talked about doing one early next week, right? Kind of a Easter stream. So let's see what happens next week. Maybe something fun. Who knows? Cool.
See you next week.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Speaking of this, I just read this thing that now students are coming back to university in physical classes in the US, and they have there's students that have never been in the classroom because they have always been doing Zoom classes because they started during COVID, and now the professors, they notice that when the lessons finish, everyone waves to the teacher, even though they're in the same room, because that's how we are doing on Zoom. So it has really started to change behavior. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so bye and see you next week.
See you next week. Take care.
Bye.
See you soon.